Well, it's official. Larry Millete has been arrested for the murder of his wife, Maya. But nobody's celebrating. A mother is still missing. That's right, folks. Join me tonight with Vinnie Politan and my good friend Bobby Chacon as we talk about the case and the arrest of Larry Millete in San Diego. This is big news. You've been waiting for it since January. Sadly, it's exactly what everyone expected. Let's tune in.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us here on Closing Arguments. We've got a big hour in store for you. Big news on all fronts. Let's start with the breaking news out of Chula Vista, California. It involves a case that we have been following since January of this year. You see this couple, Larry and Maya. She's also known as May. Well, May went missing last January. Then all of a sudden, Larry stopped talking. He got a lawyer. He kept the kids away from his wife's family, and the search for his family continued. The search for Maya continued every weekend, but without Larry. Well, today, take a look at what was happening at Larry's house. Yeah, that is the marshals are there. Chula Vista police are there, and they take him into custody and charge him with the murder of his wife. Now, her remains still have not been found, but the murder charges are in. They have filed them, and they outlined today some of the evidence that they have compiled against Larry Millete in this 9-month investigation. And remember how difficult this was for Maya's family. Number one, to be shut out from seeing her beautiful children, not knowing where Maya was. Larry stops talking, and they're waiting for an answer. They want Maya found. They want an answer as to what happened. They want a sense of justice. And today, one step in that direction. It's a big step, where we went from Larry Millete, person of interest. You want to call him a suspect? No. Tonight, you can call him accused murderer. Let's take a listen now to the police chief and the DA handling the case.
Today at 11:42 a.m., the Chula Vista Police Department SWAT team served an arrest warrant and arrested Larry Millete for the murder of his wife. Larry was taken into custody at his home and was alone at the time of his arrest.
On Monday, October 18th, yesterday, my office filed a criminal case in San Diego County Superior Court charging Larry Millete with the murder of May. Following his arrest today, the defendant was booked into jail and is being held without bail. He is scheduled to be arraigned this Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon at the South Bay Courthouse. As we make this announcement, I know the hearts of the community are broken, as are the hearts of May's family. I wish we had better news for them. The only thing that we can do in the face of this senseless violence is to bring justice. This case, the investigation in this case, while we know that Larry Millete is responsible for the murder, is ongoing, and bringing May home to have a proper burial for her family is ongoing. So what you will get is the things that will not compromise a jury trial. May wanted a divorce for many reasons. Her husband, Larry, did not want the divorce. Larry was trying to hold on to May, and he resorted to contacting what are called SpellCasters. I've never had a case where that was involved. These SpellCasters would be asked to make May want to stay in the relationship. But as December of 2020 came, those messages to SpellCasters were a lot more threatening. He was asking for May to become incapacitated, for May to be in an accident, to have broken bones so that she could stay at home, thus displaying his homicidal ideations to harm May. Now we go to November 8th. Security video retained by Chula Vista PD showed the defendant on January 8th at 5:58 a.m. in the morning, moving his Lexus GX460, a black Lexus, with the license plate that bears the name Melani. The Lexus was already backed into the driveway, but Larry Millete repositioned that Lexus where the back of the Lexus is in the entrance of that garage. He repositioned it where no video camera can capture whether a body was put in the back of the Lexus or not. Larry leaves, and he does not return to the house for 11 hours and 21 minutes. He leaves his phone behind so that there is no ability to track the GPS or location on the phone. He takes his 4-year-old and leaves the 2 older children at home. Part of a no-body investigation is to look for proof of life. And in this case, for 9 months, there is no proof of life.
The children are safe, and I can tell you that this afternoon when Larry was taken into custody for the murder of May, the children were the #1 thoughts in our mind to do that safely, to make sure they were never in danger. And once we knew that the children were not in any danger, that's when the SWAT team moved and took them into custody.
Such an important part of that situation. You got 3 children there. Very delicate when you're going in for that arrest. Now, I want to talk about some of the evidence that was disclosed today. I want to talk about some of the evidence that they are still trying to obtain in this case. So we need some experts. Joining me tonight in Los Angeles, California, retired FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon is with us. And joining us in Germany tonight, retired police commander and host of the Profiling Evil podcast, Mike King, and he is not there for Oktoberfest. We know that for a fact.
No, sir.
Not at all. Okay, this is a huge day in this case, and I just want to start with one of these bizarre facts that we learned here and what it tells you about this defendant, okay? Spellcasters. He apparently is contacting spellcasters when his marriage is in trouble, trying to get them, I guess, to cast a spell on his wife to make her stay with him. Then when it becomes apparent that, no, she's going forward with this divorce, he goes back to these spellcasters and wants her bones broken and wants her incapacitated so she can't even walk or leave the house. Bobby, I'll start with you. FBI does a lot of profiling of people. What kind of person goes to a spellcaster and wants their wife incapacitated and her bones broken?
Well, Vinny, it's obviously someone, who believes in this kind of stuff, but also the fact that there's an increase in the requests, it indicates to us desperation. He's getting more and more desperate. There's a timeline in his own mind on when he wants this to happen, and he's willing to take increasingly violent steps or request that violent steps be taken against her to achieve his objective of keeping her in the marriage. So it shows a timeline in his mind, and it shows an increasing desperation on his part to keep her in this marriage.
Now, Mike King, you've dealt with some strange characters in your investigations, including the Zion cult. Your thoughts about someone going to a spellcaster to take control of his marriage and his wife and mangle her legs so she can't walk, so she can't leave him?
Yeah, I mean, this is all about power, dominion, and control. And you see him losing control inch by inch and willing to escalate to that next level. So when you see him first starting to reach out and say, hey, just help me with a spell. Let's just keep her thinking that she wants to stick around. Oh, now I've lost control again. That's not working. I'm going to escalate. Let's just hope that you can now cast a spell to make her injured so that she has to stay here. And then eventually, if all of the allegations are accurate, we see it escalate to the point that no, even that's not enough. Now I'm going to take matters into my own hands to be the one in control, because otherwise he has no.
Now, there's a couple huge pieces of evidence that it seems investigators are looking for. One, obviously, is Maya herself. She has not been found yet. But today, investigators revealed a lot of information about where Larry was, but they don't know exactly where he was. They know he was home at 5:58 in the morning on January 8th. Security video sees him back his Lexus into the garage and then takes off for 11 and a half hours. 11 and a half hours with his 4-year-old, leaving the two other children home alone, apparently. So they believe this is when her body's placed in the trunk and he gets rid of Maya. The only information they were able to get, Bobby, is from his navigation device that 2.5 hours before he returned, he plugs in his home address. So they now are asking the public for video. Anyone, do you remember seeing this black Lexus with the specific license plate on that day? And I'm thinking, this is 9 months later. Do you think this is a missed opportunity? And I know they're putting together their case, but should they perhaps have been asking people or releasing some of this information months ago when maybe people still would have had video or a better memory?
Well, yeah, of course, you always want it as quick as you can to people's, to stroke people's memories. I don't know when they got it. I heard the DA say something about November 8th being a day where they got video. I don't know if that's the video they got. I don't know why it took so long for a neighbor or something, because apparently this was from a neighbor's home surveillance video. So I don't know why it took the neighbor so long, if that's the case. I don't know. So yeah, of course, as soon as you have that information, you'd want to get it out, because what you do is you take a map out and you draw a circle around the house, how many hours out and how many hours back it would take. So you cut that time that he was gone in half to say, okay, this is the maximum place he could have gone, and you draw that circle. In California, where they are and not far from where I am, that means the ocean as well. He probably could have reached the ocean, unfortunately. And as a member of, as the leader of the FBI dive team, that's always what my mind goes to, is water, because I looked for many, many bodies over my years in the water. And so, yeah, you would want that out, especially because it's a vanity license plate, I understand. So that might have ringed people's bell. When I see a vanity plate, sometimes I try to figure out what it is, and it sticks in my head for a day or two. But beyond that, yeah, people's memories start to fade on things like that.
Mike King, this would be huge, number one, for the family, obviously, but it would be also very important for the case as well, if they're able to find and recover Maya. It doesn't end the prosecution of the murder case at all. You can obviously try the case without a body. We've seen it before here on Court TV. But he is punching in his home address 2.5 hours before he returns home. What are your thoughts there about how you even start to do that search?
Yeah, it's a forensic game that is a little late coming. Doesn't mean that they still can't do anything. The challenge that you have with CCTV cameras is that oftentimes they buffer for up to 30 days, and then they just start filling up that card again, or that memory bank one more time, and replacing things. So, unless a neighbor captured a Ring doorbell or something else where they felt really uncomfortable about something and hung on to it, that's going to be a pretty tough one. Now, that doesn't take out things like license plate recognition, though, and the fact that there are private contractors out there, tow trucks and other people just drive constantly on our streets, collecting license plate data, the data that's coming from the vehicle itself. Government in many areas is collecting license plate data, and so they're going to be able to put him in certain places at a certain time. That compared with things like the navigation unit on the, or we may see some things like credit card it almost appears that he's taking a lot of caution in making sure that those kinds of things didn't happen.
All right, Mike, we're losing a little bit of your audio right now, just a little bit of your audio. We'll work on that. But, Bobby, there's another fact here that came out that was released today. At 9:57 p.m., there's a couple different times here. January 7th, which they believe is the night of the murder. 9:57 p.m., there's a surveillance video from a neighbor where they hear 9 loud bangs that are recorded. But one thing they said is it was impossible to determine what the source of that sound was. So how do you analyze a video with that audio portion to try to figure out? Because I think part of the argument is going to be maybe this was a gun, because they also spoke about a missing .40 caliber gun that they're looking for.
Sure, Vinny. And another piece of that video that I used to analyze the first part of the video is that there, about 30 minutes later, I believe, on that same video, you can hear children playing outside. Now, children don't normally play around 10:30 p.m. outside, especially the ages of Maya's children. So if that's what they picked up, if the video picks up 7 or 8 loud bangs, and then 30 minutes later the children are outside playing, to me it might indicate he might have wanted the children outside the house for a while he cleaned up a mess. And so you put those two pieces together, the loud bangs, which could very easily be gunshots, even if we don't have the ability to audio acoustically analyze them, because sometimes those surveillance videos don't pick up enough data for the acoustical analyzing of that. But if you know that they sound like gunshots, and then 30 minutes later their children are outside playing, that's a piece that I find interesting, that maybe he wanted those children out of the house while he had to clean some things up.
Okay, I want to play for you Mary Chris, who is Maya's sister. She spoke today as well, and she's going to be speaking to us at the top of the next hour. Here's what she had to say today.
I'm still trying to take it today. It's been really hard. He's a family. He's our family. It's hard to go against a family. He's been with us for 20 years. My sister did love him.
Difficult day for the family. And Mary Chris and her husband, Richard, will join us again at the top of the next hour. Bobby Chacon, Mike King are going to stay with us. When we come back, we're going to take a look at Brian Laundrie. Who is this guy? We're going to put together some different pieces, some things that he's written, some things that he has said, to try to figure out exactly what's going on up here in the man that the FBI is looking for, as is the rest of the country.
Well, one thing's very clear. Law enforcement is moving forward at a rapid pace. This DA is doing something that we see very few DAs do, that step up and file a circumstantial case. If you happen to know anything about this case, please reach out to law enforcement. If you know about the vehicle or the missing weapon or anything to do with the murder of Maya Millete, law enforcement needs your help. Thanks for supporting Profiling Evil. I'm here in Germany, and I'm really excited to be able to reach out and still participate with you. We really appreciate all you do. Please hit that like and the subscribe button, and please ring the bell so you get all of our notifications on this and other videos that we do here at Profiling Evil. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.